You're listening to Screaming Goat Radio with Kevin and Chris, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the show endorsed by Howard Stern's cousin's babysitter. Screaming Goat Radio. Don't fuck it up, Kevin and Chris. Tweet the guys during the show at SG Radio LA. We know you have a lot of choices on the internet. So from all of us here at Screaming Goat Radio, we just want to say thanks for choosing us over porn.
Welcome to Screaming Go Radio here back. Brand new episode here. We've got Samantha Scanlon filling in for Chris Labrum.
Bonjour.
We have some eye candy here in the studio, which is nice. Wow. You know, we got to get Chris out so we get the eye candy in. And we have Brandy Tucker here, the VP of Alternative TV at Fine Brothers. Glad to have you here. We want to hear all about what you do. Former producer for Big Brother, Hell's Kitchen. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? You have the resume that I want, really. So see if I can borrow that at some point. But
just scratch out my name.
Yeah, exactly. But here in about 20 minutes, we want to hear all about that and kind of get into that a little bit. If you have any questions for Brandy when we start talking to her about her gig, you can give us a call at 818-570-5085. Tweet us at SG Radio LA and all that kind of good stuff there. So big show. Thanks for watching out there. And Chris has abandoned us here today. He's in Seattle, unfortunately, but we're certainly glad to have you here in the studio, Sam.
Over the Seahawks loss.
Yes. Well, he was very excited about Jimmy Graham. They got Jimmy Graham. I was talking to him. He was just having a good old time. He's probably going to go up there and be part of some sort of Seattle Seahawks parade. All this kind of good football, all this goodwill's going on around me. I'm a Redskins fan. You're a Bears fan. You're a Bucks fan. There's football misery in this studio.
We're in a lot of pain.
We are.
Yeah.
All of us are hurting, and he's up there, celebrating a team that almost made it to the Super Bowl and just got Jimmy Graham.
I mean, we got to give him that.
I think a lot of teams are hurting right now, honestly. There's been more shakeup, I feel like, right now in this offseason than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Players, so many people are going to have to buy new jerseys
It's
next
true.
season.
It's
Honestly, it's kind of crazy.
It is true. Yeah, there's been so much movement and trades and everything and so many unexpected moves here so far.
Yeah.
All of which the Redskins have not been part of any of it, and the Bears have traded Marshall, and then we've got a Florida grad over here that's going to have to welcome a Florida State quarterback onto her team. So all of us are hurting. But while all that was going on, I was in Vegas this past weekend, here, guys, and I'm sure you cannot guess what I was doing in Vegas. Though.
Playing kickball.
Okay, Brandy guessed.
Brandy guessed.
Correct. Well, that was unbelievable. Yes, I was in Vegas playing kickball, actually, of all things.
Yes,
and is it sad that I did not gamble once when I was in Vegas because I was so exhausted?
Why would you disclose that information?
I'm trying to be honest. I thought this was a safe space.
Should stay in Vegas, especially when it's something like that.
I thought it was a safe space right here. I mean, I don't really win when I
come back and be like, guys, hookers.
Yeah.
We won the kickball tournament. We were the hottest team there.
But that was me talking about kickball then. Are you saying I shouldn't talk about kickball, or shouldn't talk about the fact that I didn't gamble at all?
Kind of both, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you have chances. Like, there's even the airport. What else are you doing at the airport?
That's true. Crying. I was doing a lot of crying in the airport as well. How do both of you do Vegas? Do you do the club? Do you do the bottle service? Do you pass out in gutters? I don't know.
Oh God.
What do the cool kids do? I don't know.
I think it depends what you're going for. Like, if I'm there with friends, like for a bachelorette party, then it's someone's already arranged like a club and bottle service and gambling. But I mean, the way I do Vegas is no more than 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, I don't get
definitely.
invited to bachelorette parties, so I have there's no way. Maybe I can weasel my way into one.
48 hours and you're over it. The first time I went to Vegas, I was 21, and that was the big huge thing. We were only there for 48 hours, and there was a man who was really, really cute guy who was playing piano in the MGM, and like his voice was magnified across the entire lobby of MGM, and actually like called me over to his piano, ended up giving me his number, was announcing to the entire lobby that I was his future wife, and then he was like, how old are you?
Oh God.
Oh, I'm 21. Don't worry about it.
And he said, too old. You're too old for me.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
There's grass on the field.
Oh my God.
There we go. Yeah.
Turn them over and play in the
I
mud.
went there.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, all that stuff going on in Vegas. I have to do more of that fun stuff, I guess, because I was playing kickball, lost in the finals, did not gamble at
That
all.
sucks.
I'm going to be taking some notes here on how I can do it better, but I think I'm going to stay away from any piano player that waves me over toward him after that story, I think.
Well, you go to Vegas a lot though for tournaments, right? For kickball.
There's 2 per year
Okay.
that we go for. Yeah, one is the kickball national championship. Not nerdy at all. yeah. And then the other was just some sort of circuit cup that was there.
So you're close to turning pro, right?
Very, very close. Unfortunately, I'm going to age out here at some point, even for kickball. I'm going to be washed up here
When
before
your
I can
knees
go
give
pro.
out.
Got it.
Yeah, probably so. So yeah, I'll have to make some notes of that here for my next Vegas trip. But before we get into Brandy Tucker here, our guest, the VP at Alternative TV for Fine Brothers. Does that title? Are you used to it? Because that's a new title for you.
Yeah, it is a new title.
Are you laughing because it's so brand new, or because
It's just not necessary.
just call you Brandy?
Yeah, just call me Brandy.
We'll have to hope all of our
Say the say Brandy.
yeah. Or we could
Fine
sing.
girl.
Or we could sing her name
could
the
sing
entire
your
time.
name.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now that
I like that.
Yeah. This is
necessary.
Brandy. She has a job.
Thank you.
She has a job in the industry. She's
I get
employed.
paid.
She's employed. Yeah, that was good. That's how we can start introducing you.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have jobs, and here we are. So before we do get into Brandy with the job, to talk about her job, I did want to talk about a couple headlines that we had here going on. There was the Blurred Lines verdict. I don't know how much both of you have been following this, but
I
So-
have been following it.
You
now,
have-
have you listened to both of those songs?
yes, and you know what? I was hoping we could play it, but due to the fact that we would have to pay Pharrell or we'd have to pay people money to play
No,
these
you'd
things,
have
you
to
can't.
pay Marvin Gaye's
And
kids.
now pay Marvin Gaye's kids, who I'm sure they need the money. But yeah,
absolutely.
you know what? Yeah, I have listened to both. Definitely, very, very similar. Very, very
But
similar.
I gotta say, I think
do
that there
think
are
so.
other songs in the past that they've like raised issues about being really similar that were way more similar than those two. For instance,
Absolutely.
like I don't remember hearing about some close to $8 million settlement for for Coldplay's "Viva La Vida" that sounds just like Joe Satriani's song,
Right.
Yep.
Which is pretty much the same melody in it. You just added words.
Well, here's the thing I would say. Like, I really don't understand why more artists are not just ripping off songs that were made 40 years ago. Because like, well, I mean, shake your head, but worst case scenario, you make 7-8 million. You're now Robin Thicke, and you're a name and you're famous, and then you release your next album and it sells, and maybe you rip off a couple songs then. But what's really stopping these people? It's launched his career. It's launched
You know
Robin
what?
Thicke's career.
I don't agree with that. I think that he did not rip off. It's a funky soul
Right.
chord progression. You
Right.
hear it in all funk psychedelic.
There are only so many
soul
notes
songs.
and chords.
Right.
and-
And just today, I was reading on Facebook, the Reddit pulled up this video of this gentleman by the name of Zach Kim playing the guitar. And now you listen to this side by side with Daft Punk's Lucky, and it's almost the exact same thing.
Now, here's the only thing that I will say. They did say that they were just listening to the song, and I think it was Robin Thicke who said, I would like to make a song like Marvin Gaye's, what was the name of the song right now? Gotta Give It Up. He said he wanted to make a song like that. Pharrell was just listening to the song. It sounds very, very similar.
They sound similar, but so do a lot of those funky soul
Yeah.
songs. The doom doom doom,
Yeah.
boom doom doom doom.
That's
they
why-
all have that.
that's why
that
Name That
beat. They
Tune
all have-
Great,
existed.
Sam. Yeah,
Right.
someone's going to sue us now for what you just did, because that sounds so similar to it. Well, part of the problem that I was reading about this as well is now that this, they were found guilty of ripping this song on, they're curious because there are so many songs that sound similar if they're just going to be a massive amount of lawsuits right now. I mean, there was the Tom Petty settlement earlier for the
he got off easy though, Sam Smith.
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Very
but
easy. I think that one actually sounded more alike.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now it's kind of curious to see what's going to happen there. And then there was more testimony from the case that basically Thicke did not have anything to do with this song. He didn't write any of the song. I think he was either drunk or high or something like that while Pharrell was recording the whole
Probably a
thing.
little
So
bit of both.
it's turned into this embarrassing thing for Robin Thicke here for sure. But it is funny. Like I was thinking about the fact of if he thinks Blurred Lines was a blessing or a curse when it kind of maybe cost him his marriage.
This is true.
and then now
I think
it's
some
cost
other
him
things
his
cost him
credibility.
marriage.
$7.4 million.
Yeah,
Also.
yeah, because he was suddenly this heartthrob, and
Yeah.
questions of infidelity, and then he skyrockets with fame and drugs and everything
Yeah.
else. So
And he had a couple of singles before this one.
Yeah,
and
he
this,
had
Did he
this
really?
was really the,
Yeah, he was an like made
I mean-
more R&B, like less mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
but
and he had one, I think, with the bigger
Yeah, I can't-
hits.
I don't
the
even remember
Baby,
the
you're the perfect mate.
Oh, beautiful.
yeah,
Lost Without You is what it's called. But then Blurred Lines came out, and he just
it blew up.
That's what
Yeah.
Pharrell
skyrocketed to
does.
Fame.
Yeah,
Yes.
it blows people up.
Pharrell needs to work with
Yeah.
me. Pharrell, if you're listening,
He's a big fan of the show,
He's a
actually.
huge
yeah,
fan of the show.
yeah. Pharrell, tweet us at
at
SG Radio.
SG
LA.
Radio LA.
Yeah, he is a hit
And,
maker. That
I'll sing
Pharrell.
for you.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if maybe this is part of his MO. If he did in fact rip part of this song off, if
God,
he's just
no, I
borrowing
don't think
some
so.
old songs, kind of like the Puff Daddy approach, right? That he would sample old hits
Right.
all the time for his songs.
Will
and
Smith,
does he do that? Will Smith?
every single song.
He hasn't made he hasn't made music in what 10 years.
Yeah,
He's-
but every
he's
single
made
one
flops
of
on movies.
his old songs have sampled music from the set, but it's sampled again, sampled.
Yeah.
Right. Paid for.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
But I
great
don't-
strategy.
I just don't agree that with this whole thing, with this whole verdict. It's just
And
nasty for the music
7.9
industry.
million seemed really extreme to me.
Well, they originally wanted something like
I think
what,
like
25?
20. Yeah, they were saying that that because of Blurred Lines, it was hurting that song. It was hurting the downloads. But then when all the publicity came out, I think downloads of
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye's song went up like
Of course.
three
Oh,
times
yeah.
as much as they did. So
Yeah,
they
they're
obviously
not
weren't awarded
stupid,
that.
these Marvin Gaye kids.
I just I feel bad for his kids. I'm sure that they're hurting. I'm sure that they need the money,
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye's kids. But we'll have to see if now this kind of leads to this world of just copyright suing left and right with,
Yeah.
I mean, because, like, what's to stop somebody from saying for a film, for instance, that was my shot, or that was my style, or my style of shooting, or Burton sues somebody for shooting the same style. I think we're kind of headed to that point where there's going to be a lot of copyright infringement lawsuits.
Mhm. And now listen, have you guys both heard the 6-song mashup of those country songs?
No, I haven't.
But
But country sounds a lot alike.
Exactly my point.
I
But
did hear about
country
that, yeah.
music, I mean, almost that's why, country's difficult for me, because for me they kind of all sound the same.
Right.
They're all about the same subject. But
Yeah.
country musicians are very smart in that they know that all their songs are going to sound the same, and if they want to, that's what works for them.
Their audience.
Yeah.
And that's going to make them money.
So here, you know what? I'm going to play a little bit of this. We can hear. So this is obviously Blurred Lines here, and then it's going to switch into Marvin Gaye here in a second.
Okay.
It is catchy.
It is very catchy.
Boom, 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 boom.
This is the Marvin Gaye. Pretty similar, Sam.
No, it's not. It's
Hey, Brandy, what do you think?
bump bump. It's not bump bump bump.
Well, it's
Bump,
not the
bump, bump.
exact same thing, Sam.
No,
It's a little different.
Okay, listen. Now, Vanilla Ice clearly ripped off Queen in Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah.
Very, very clearly ripped him off. In this song, unless you put them side by side like this, you could hear a similarity,
Right.
but it's not the same song.
Except I stop dancing when I hear Marvin Gaye.
I do like
Can
the
you
Blurred
pull
Lines
up-
songs
can
better.
you pull up that video, Kev, by Zach Kim? It's called The Robot Dance.
Oh, the robot dancer.
Yeah, see
All
if
right.
you can't pull that up and play a little bit of that and maybe play that side by side with Get Lucky. Where's this kid?
Yeah.
Suing Pharrell for millions and millions of dollars.
There's so many robot dances here. I'm on YouTube right now. I don't even know which
no,
one to go
Zach,
after here.
Z-A-C-K, Kim.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll pull this up here and see.
Let's see if you can pull it up.
The robots are taking over.
I know.
All right. We'll see if this works right here. I'm
From coast to coast.
not going to give free advertising here to
Advertise.
YouTube here. Yeah. So this is the same song as what? What does this sound very similar to?
Daft Punk's
Ah.
Get Lucky. So go in like 10, 15 seconds, but you can finally start to hear it.
Okay.
But it's uncanny.
Okay. All right.
I liked that song for all of 5 seconds, and then it annoyed
Yeah.
me.
I like it because it's unique. Wait, hold on. Just go. Fast forward a couple more seconds. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, how far in do we have to go here?
I mean, come
Oh,
on.
wait.
This guy's not very talented. He's playing the same thing over and over again.
Here we go.
That does. Okay.
Okay, I can hear it.
That is the exact same thing.
But is this a song that he's released?
Yeah, did this come before the
I
Daft
think
Punk?
This is from like 2011.
Has he sued? Has he sued them then?
No, but
Because he doesn't have kids.
There's an example. There's an example when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's Daft Punk's Get
Yeah.
Lucky.
It does
How
sound like
weird.
that, yeah.
You don't listen to that Marvin Gaye song and think Blurred Lines. I'm
No,
sorry.
you don't.
I'm sorry.
I bet
Okay.
there's just so much plagiarism that goes that we just don't know about, that goes all over that's just
Sure,
involved right now, and
sure,
that
sure.
seems like that's another one right there. So
But-
I would love to represent you, Chris Kim.
But
I feel
music
like-
is music, you guys.
I feel like a lot of it honestly isn't on purpose.
Yeah.
That's my thinking. Like, I mean, they're in there. Like, I just think there's so many different beats out there like that have already been done now for so long. Like, I don't think it's, and except for in the cases where like Vanilla Ice or something like that. But I think a lot of times it's not intentional.
Yeah, I'm amazed. Like I was amazed growing up that there's not more of this when there's even like punk songs, or everybody says like
Right.
there's the same 3 chords.
Exactly. Yeah.
How different can you really make it sound?
Right.
Yeah. In the 50s and 60s, everything sounded the same.
Yeah.
Look at this. We need just like get a little do a little garage band here. This is fantastic. So yeah, we'll have to see if this leads to more lawsuits, just because it does seem like everything is kind of the same. Here was the one more thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into Brandy with the job. Are both of you Game of Thrones fans? Because there was the brand new Game of Thrones trailer was
Hell
released.
yes.
Guys, I didn't see season 4 because we lost
What?
HBO.
Well,
Oh my God.
So I've only seen up to the red wedding. I know
That's
about
it?
the purple wedding.
Okay.
I know about it.
Yeah.
every
I don't know
color
how
of
but
wedding was
there
all
is-
represented on the last season.
But there's I really did enjoy that show.
So I didn't watch Game of Thrones until I think Red Wedding had already happened. It had already been 3 seasons, and then I got into it and totally binge watched and caught up literally right before season 4 started. So then I got all through season 4, and then me and some girlfriends, like, we went to that IMAX thing where they showed the last 2 episodes of
I didn't know about that.
season 4, like up on the big screen. So
Right.
we watched we rewatched it like a month ago, the last 2 episodes, and then they showed the trailer.
Ooh.
Got you really excited.
Yeah, it was
Can't
a
wait.
great
So
it was a
excited.
great season last season
Yeah.
on Game of Thrones. Really fun, and now Game of Thrones is basically poised to take over the globe with the HBO Go now being available to stream. I guess
Right.
even if you don't have HBO, you can buy HBO to stream. So
There
so
you go. I should have had that last season when
Yeah.
I missed season 4, you guys.
are you going to try to watch season 4 before you watch
Oh,
season 5?
absolutely. I have
okay,
to.
I was going to
Right.
say
Have
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Have to.
I was going to kick you
There's-
off right now
you know
if
what,
you
but
weren't going
there's
to
so
do
many
that.
characters that just kind of come and go, so you kind of eventually I'm going to
Yeah,
have to
come
start
and go.
making a list.
You mean killed off essentially? Is
There you go.
Yes, yes. And no spoilers though here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is just really incredible storytelling, and it's just an unbelievable show. Did you both read the books as well, or did you only?
I haven't. This is one of the few shows where I haven't read the books.
I don't read books.
I cannot read myself, so I'm. I would need someone to read it to me, which I guess couldn't be you because you don't read. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll read a couple lines to me, Sam.
But I've heard the books are difficult because there are even more characters in the
Right.
books.
Yeah.
And it gets a little overwhelming.
Well, he's
and
stopped.
he's still writing.
Well, he's stopped
needs
writing.
to,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, he needs to write, and I think somebody was saying by the end, is it this season where they're going to actually pass the books?
I think so. I think the end. It's either the end of this season or maybe one more, but it might be the end of this season. Actually, I
Yeah.
can't remember. But yeah, it's really close to being caught up to him, which bothers me because I'm so obsessed with it now, and I want him to like actually put in the time to make it good.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what happens if he's then going to be taking over the storytelling, and then if he's
Yeah.
going to stop writing the books, or like how much,
and start writing the episode, like
Yeah.
being a part of writing
Yeah.
the episodes,
or then how much that the
you can't just stop writing book
I
series.
know.
You have to finish it.
Like, what's he been doing the past 3 years? He's had a good amount of time. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know how writers like J.K. Rowling's and
Yeah.
like George R. R. Martin, how they, with all this pressure, are still able to crank out books. I would imagine
And
that
g-
it's
and
very
well-written
hard.
books.
Yeah. That it's hard for him to sit down and
Yeah.
crank
Unless
this
you're
out with all this
Stephanie
pressure.
Meyer. You
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah, or J.K. Rowling.
crap on your hand and throw it on a page and give it to little girls, and they're like, "I love it."
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sorry, Twilight
Team
fans.
Edward.
If you don't like that, you can
Are
tweet
you?
us
No,
at
I've
SG
never
Radio
seen
LA.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Never. I am obsessed though with The Hobbit. I will admit that. I'm obsessed with
Are
The
they
Hobbit.
better than the Lord of the Rings?
Personally, I like them better because I think it's I like the character development better in The Hobbit, and they've made Orlando Bloom's eyes even bluer.
Wow, I didn't know that was possible.
I didn't think it was.
So
and
he's
they're not
even
even
dreamier.
Actually, a brown-eyed
yeah,
man.
he's not. They're
so
not even
that's
blue in
why
real
it's
life.
magical for
but they
him.
Why-
made him even bluer, and his skin even more porcelain, and it's just amazing to watch.
God bless
Why haven't
CGI.
they? Yeah, why haven't they advertised that he's like 40% dreamier in the new Hobbit movies? Because I guarantee that would bring
if
in.
you see the posters and the trailers, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that he's literally been that character for his entire career.
Yeah.
That's really all he does. It seems like whenever there's a Hobbit movie,
no,
or
he was in all of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
oh, that's
That's
true.
right.
But
Okay,
he had
yeah.
dark hair
Yeah.
And the dark eyes.
and the dark
Yeah.
eyes, so he
Wah, wah,
fooled you.
wah.
He fooled
Man,
you.
both of you are just
so good.
Orlando Bloom. And like, is he the who's the dreamiest out there right now? Present company excluded.
Oh,
Who's
I'm
the dreamiest?
obsessed with Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
Hemsworth.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
a Liam Hemsworth fan actually,
Uh-oh.
which makes me
Easy,
feel
ladies.
a little bit of a pedophile. He's a little younger. No, but I think he's like 23.
Yeah,
Liam
you'd call
Hemsworth,
him
I
over
think,
to
is
your
gorgeous.
piano, I think.
Well,
I'm
Chris
a
is married,
huge
so that sucks.
nerd. Yeah, makes him even hotter.
I know.
I'm a huge nerd for Chris Evans.
Okay.
yeah,
I
he's
have
cutie.
Captain America has not
A
hurt
B
his stock with the
for
ladies.
Chris E.
Oh, I like
and
this. Yeah.
And Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's-
I like the Gosling.
Did you guys
Quite
see
the
the
young
Gosling? Not to get too far off
The
track, but the
dance?
dance video.
12
Yeah.
years.
Where did
Have
that
you
come
seen-
from? Was it-
That's not his first one that's
I
come
saw it
out.
a few
It's
years
not?
ago. Yeah, I've
he's-
seen one before.
You know, he's so hip hop it hurts.
I mean, who knew he had such little rhythm? And he had those little hammer pants on. That was
I know,
ridiculous.
I know.
The way he just does that Ryan Gosling like little smart
Yeah.
look, like
Yeah, you want to watch
the
that and
camera.
just hate on him, but then you're like, he's
It's not bad.
pretty good
good.
dancer, and
He's
he's
got some
surrounded
moves.
by like 10 women as well, which
just goes to show you that he's been working for this career. Like he's been working for it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. he's been
Did you
working.
guys
Yeah.
see the video of I think I only saw it 2 weeks ago. Emma Stone. She was on a reality show before being Emma Stone, and it was on like in search for like the next Partridge Family. So it's a singing competition, and she's on stage like singing a Partridge Family song duet with some other girl. She's okay. I don't think she would ever make it on American Idol, The Voice, but I think with this it was also about showmanship.
yeah.
But yeah, you should look that up. It's very
Yeah.
interesting to see her on a reality show, like grown Emma Smith
Yeah.
belting it out.
That's
Working for it.
That's the
Yeah.
problem whenever you're famous, then all of that stuff surfaces when
Yeah.
you had to take anything that was presented in front of
Yeah.
you.
Listen, once I blow up, as you guys know that I will.
Yes.
One of these days. One of these
Don't
days.
forget about
Especially
us.
from SG Radio LA.
Yes.
When this show blows up,
Yes.
and they'll be like, "Did you co-host that?"
Yeah. Chris Labrum, who?
And I did my first independent film that I did was called My Family Barbecue 2.
Too.
Family,
Now-
it's a family spelled with a PH, just to give you an idea.
Can
of
I
what
ask
kind of
real
a
quick?
movie that was.
Say I wanted to see it. Do I have to see the first to know what's happening in the second, or
Listen,
can I jump right into
I didn't
second?
even see the first. I didn't even see the first, but it's my family.
Now, what was
PH
what was your
Barbecue 2.
role here in Family Barbecue
So
2?
here's the premise of the movie. The I don't even remember what the names of the characters were. You guys, I'm awful. But I played a woman by the name of Estelle Cohen,
Whoa.
who's the bitter ex-girlfriend of
Estelle?
Estelle Cohen, and she's the bitter ex-girlfriend of the male lead, who is a white Jewish guy, as most of them are.
Yeah.
Sorry. And who is engaged to a black girl, and they're coming together for an engagement party for the first time, and the Jewish mother invites the ex-girlfriend, the Jewish ex-girlfriend,
Okay.
which was me,
To a barbecue?
to their engagement barbecue, and the families are clashing because we're black and we're we like
it
fried
sounds like
chicken,
great-
and she's like,
great
well, we want
dialogue.
bagels and lox. And
Really nice dialogue in that movie.
Was there a
Yes.
third
was there a third?
movie?
Was that? I don't know. I didn't keep
Yeah,
track
yeah.
of it after that.
The barbecue trilogy
my
available in
family
box
barbecue,
sets this Christmas.
Family barbecue.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It's a box set this Christmas.
Yeah, we all do stuff like that when we're first in the game. I actually did a film where I was like the head male cheerleader in a movie. I didn't do any cheers. I was just the head male cheerleader. But it was some horror movie that I shot in Florida where
You were the head male cheerleader.
I
Who
think-
was also head of the kickball team.
yeah, probably on the side. But ended up being Ron Jeremy was the killer in the end. Like
Oh
when the
my
guy takes his
gosh.
mask off. So Yeah, another one that once.
Is this your way of
You wish
telling
you
us
had
that you did
Ron
a porn?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
I had Thelma
Yeah,
from
sorry,
Good
Mom.
Times in my
Oh, really?
movie.
Yeah. Do you, Brandy? Do you have anything embarrassing like that you've produced,
Oh,
possibly?
that I've produced.
Or-
No, we
that
can
you've
talk
been
about
in?
your
Yeah, did you-
let's
did
get
you
in-
start
let's
out-
get into your job?
Okay.
Yeah. Did you start out as an actress, or
No, never.
God
That
bless you.
I think for me,
you
I
could have been
just,
in the barbecue movie, probably?
I could have. No, for me, I think I'm too much of a control freak, and so I couldn't handle the idea that like it's just up to fate.
Yeah.
Just one of these days. Like that's just me because I'm so like I plan everything out. So producing wound up being perfect for me because there's always a joke between me and my producer friends. It's like, all right, guys, let's produce this dinner right now. All right, let's produce this phone call. Like it's like let's produce everything. So that's kind of I started off like at a big reality company out here for 3 years in development, and where we launched Deal or No Deal, and they did Fear Factor, that kind of stuff. And then after 3 years of being in the office, I got really stir crazy, and then started like just producing shows. For like, I don't know, 7 or 8, however long I've been doing this years later.
And now, for people out there that don't really know what it's like to be a producer, what that really means, can you like talk us through just an average day in the life of an
Sure.
LA producer?
Well, I will say every show is completely different. The first show I did was Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? First season. That was a dream job. It's big budget, Fox show, Mark Burnett, who, everything he does is amazing. He has such great quality control there. So that was just, like, everybody was so nice. I was like, oh, this is great. I love producing. And then my next show, it was like everyone was grouchy. Like if you needed paper for the printer, it was like you were asking them for their firstborn son, from the person that's supposed to just give you paper for a printer. So you learn everything is different. And then there's some shows now, because a lot of docuseries are on the air where I go there and it's like I'm a therapist right off the bat because someone's having a meltdown. I did a show where every day it was this talent that really didn't want to be on the show. But they were under 18, so their parents, signed for them to be on it. But they were the stars of it and had to give us content. So every day, every single morning, I got to their house. It was like, okay, so today this is what we're doing. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Every single day, it was my job to get them to do things.
Now, this is a
Every
great
day.
segue into our next question for you, which is, what is the most annoying thing a talent has ever put you through? Is it that, or
That was definitely one.
Yeah, we're not doing it right now, are we? This is hopefully not going to be.
Tell us more stories.
Yeah.
Mention names.
Peppering people with questions.
Right.
No, I get annoyed. That was very annoying just because, then they would turn around sometimes and it's like, they wouldn't want to participate at all. And then the next day it's like, so when all you guys come back for season 2, it's like, what makes you think there's going to be a season 2? This is terrible. You're not playing along at all. Like,
Right.
That's not going to happen. You don't understand how this works.
Don't get it.
Yeah. And then, I also did that show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Shot for 6 weeks down in Costa Rica, which was really...
Do you travel with those shows as well? Are you involved
Yeah.
in that? And you're there on location and
Yeah.
there every day?
Yeah.
Is that fun? Do you enjoy the travel part?
I did for a while, especially when it's a cool place like Costa Rica. And last year I did a Travel Channel show. I got to go to, St. Martin, Key West, like those places.
That's
Great.
not bad.
But but then I've also had to go to Minnesota for 3 months in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
In a small
I'm in Minnesota.
town.
Get Me Out of Here, I think was probably the show.
Yeah, like
Probably
it
the show that you did.
It was that was not fun at all, and I would never want to do that again. So when you're told like, hey, you're going into the middle of nowhere in a town of 200 people, and you're gonna live there 3 months, it's like no. You instantly know you're gonna get fat, first of all, because there's only like fast food around you.
Yeah, Midwest.
Yeah.
Like, it's not pleasant. But Costa Rica was really cool. But because that's I've done shows with both regular people on it and then also celebrity talent, and it's just a mixed bag. Like, so on I'm a Celebrity, we had Heidi and Spencer,
Oh, man.
and they
just must have been huge.
they
pains
were
in the
a
ass.
handful from day one.
I'm shocked to hear that.
yeah,
But
like,
they're Heidi and Spencer.
I mean, and if I hadn't seen it in person, I would have fully understood it. But even from like stuff not on camera, like they had to do, everybody before going on a show has to do a quick psych eval. Just meet with a psychologist for like whatever it is, half hour, whatever the time is. He refused to
Only
let
a half hour for those two? I would
Maybe
think
it's an hour.
I think you'd have to have him on retainer if you
know.
have those two on the show.
I don't know the amount of time, but he refused to let her go in there alone. He's like, no, I'm not letting her go in there with that quack. Like, I need to be in there too. But you can't. It has to be single, individual
Right.
people. And they stormed out. And so then we had to, eventually, they did do it. But they were just a nightmare there.
Who's the cast on that? Do you remember who your celebrities were?
Yeah. So it's Heidi and Spencer. So, and then Janice Dickinson, who put her in a jungle without any of her pills or booze or beauty supplies. But she was more pleasant than Heidi and Spencer.
I can believe that.
She was just very constipated and kept asking us for more prunes. And then we had Sanjaya, who was a doll.
Oh,
He was very sweet. He was really sweet.
he was on the season my friend was on.
Of American Idol, you mean?
Yeah.
So we had him, the wrestler Tori Wilson, who was super sweet. Patty Blagojevich. So remember Rod Blagojevich, the guy who got in trouble for trying to sell his seat, Obama's seat.
Yeah, it's Illinois. Yay,
There
Illinois. Go
it is, another
Chicago.
one.
We had John
Yeah.
Sally, who's super cool. I
Basketball
still talk
player,
to
yeah.
him sometimes. The comedy duo Frangela, and who am I? And Steve Baldwin. Or sorry, Stephen Baldwin. Because then his brother later came on. But Steven is hilarious. He cracks you up.
We've all seen Biodome, you guys. We know how funny Stephen
I watched
Baldwin
it before
can
I
be.
came here. I watch it every day.
But it was cool because I got to really, I was the first one to speak with all of them before going to the jungle because I did everybody's like sit down interview, and he just was making all kinds of weird animal noises and talking about scaring Janice Dickinson with his like lion sounds, and he was just so much fun.
And so, I should have looked and see what the plot that was. So they're all in the jungle, and then do they have to vote each other off? Was it that kind of thing, or?
Was it like a Survivor?
Yeah,
or was it like
it's like
Naked and Afraid?
No, it's like a mix between Survivor and Big Brother.
Okay.
Because so it's like and the challenge is like they're not, it's not as intense as Survivor. Because and they are celebrities, so we can't like. Yes, they had rice and beans provided to them, but then they would do food challenges to get more food, and then somebody would get voted out each week. And here's the thing: it's hard for me to remember because so much drama was around Heidi and Spencer. Like they kind of hijacked the show. Like there was a rule, like if you left and said I'm off, that's it, I'm not returning, you're not allowed back in.
They left, didn't they? I think
But then they were allowed to come back in. I was so mad. And here's the thing: when you're producing the show, you have a much different perspective of it than when you go back and watch. So like I remember during it, I was like, "Don't let them back in. That's fucked up."
But you can see how that
You said
garners audience attention.
then,
because people want to watch the crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
People want to watch the drama.
Yeah, exactly. But at the time, I was like, that is messed up. Like, if there are standards here. You said if they leave, that's it. Don't let them back in.
Yeah.
It's same thing with Big Brother. So on Big Brother, I remember the first season I did was season 8 with Evil Dick.
Yep. Yeah.
And I just remember, which I still think is one of the best seasons.
He won that season.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I still think it's one of the best seasons. It's
really good.
And I remember, though, during that season, absolutely hating him, like to the core, because I would hear everything that most people wanted to, like how disgusting some of like disgusting, like sexual and just grotesque some of the things like that he would say, and I just hated him. And then 2 years later, when I was back on I did the show for season 10, and I was
the
showing
Valentine's Day one, right? When he came back on with his daughter. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, season. Well, that was 13.
Okay.
But season 10, I was on, and I was showing my team some episodes from that season. I was like, and I'm like, this is amazing. God, he was so good on it.
Yeah, now
so it's weird.
I'm a little bit of a Big Brother fan on the show as well.
A little bit.
So yeah.
Statement.
Now, because it seemed like that was part of his strategy, that he was trying to be an asshole to everybody. Was he just really an asshole, or was he trying to be?
He amplified it a lot. I mean, he definitely is somebody that puts you off, and he doesn't care what you think about him. But clearly, when he was trying to get so the week that things turned, because he and Danielle were both on the block, and so he was trying to keep her in the house. And so that's when he went on that Reign of Terror, which is still like one of the best scenes ever, when he's like banging the pots and
pans and everything.
And he's like, "Come on, sweetheart, wake up, sunshine." And that was just to get himself kicked out. And somehow, that was still such an amazing turnaround that they both stayed.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's like people were just afraid to cross him.
Yeah.
So I remember during
It seemed like a pretty tame cast too. That there weren't a lot of people on that season that really.
Well, Amber, do you remember Amber, the former meth head, the
I
one
think
who
so,
thought
yeah.
like she could be on America's Next Top Model?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
She
She's a meth
screamed.
head. She probably could have been.
She screamed a lot.
I think you have to be.
She screamed a lot, and then that fight with Jamaica and Evil Dick, where she's like clapping in his face.
Yeah.
I obviously I remember it very well because I was there. But there was
You were egging it on in the
no,
background.
Yeah.
there were some fights for sure that
Yeah.
season. But I do agree though. Whenever there's one really strong character, I don't like that it kind of does silence some others a bit.
Yeah, well, talk a little bit about the casting for a show like that. Are you there involved in the casting for a show like Big Brother, or do you kind of come in later and help kind of set things up and kind of talk to the cast?
Yeah, it's different on every show. On Big Brother, I'm not involved in casting because there's a huge casting team that starts. I think almost from when the
That's
previous
a giant
season
casting
ends.
call, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're constantly it's almost like year round.
Yeah, are they doing live castings? They're accepting the tape submissions. Are they really reviewing all these tapes, or is it mainly from like the live casting sessions they do, or does it just?
I know they
depend?
definitely have taken some people from tapes, and they certainly have the team, because look, they want to find the best people for sure.
Right.
So, and sometimes there's even, so yeah, there's the live ones, the auditions that they'll hold. There's the tapes, but then sometimes they also have recruiters that go out and they'll just find people who haven't auditioned. Like I don't think, I want to say that I think it was either Jeff or Jordan. I want to say it's Jordan that didn't audition, but somebody found her. I know there's quite a few. It's funny because some of the best characters
The ones they just found.
end
Are
up
ones that
being
just you
that
come across at
they
a
went
coffee shop.
after, which is really funny.
And how many rounds of auditions does someone generally have to go on?
Oh my God, I don't even remember now. Let me think.
Is it just kind of like sitting at a round table and you're getting asked these questions? How would you
Yeah.
react in this situation?
Yeah, and asking them about them, and it's always on camera, and it'll usually be the casting director, Rob and Cass with the EPs sitting there, and then I think after the EPs, then they'll bring the network in and do the same thing, and then they narrow that down.
Yeah.
So when we start, they usually have about almost twice as many. And then it's like in that final week that we're there that they narrow it down to the final ones.
Any other good stories from Big Brother, stuff that maybe people that are fans of the show, kind of like myself, maybe didn't see on TV, but things that you saw behind the scenes, any interesting nuggets, tidbits?
Yeah, and any Big Brother fans out there, if you want to
right.
go ahead, if you have any questions for Brandy, you can give us a call at 818
That's right.
510-5085, or you can always tweet us at SG Radio LA.
Yeah.
and let us
We'll
know what
dish
you
the
wanna
dirt.
ask. We'll dish
Yeah.
the dirt.
I like this right here. Look at that.
We'll dish the dirt.
We got to have her
on
back
Big
more often.
Brother.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, I remember one night it was season 13 when we had all those duos back, and Kalia. Do you remember Kalia?
Yeah.
Who I actually saw her about a month ago. And here's the thing. It's really frustrating for producers in the control room because that are monitoring. So whenever someone sings, you might know this if you've ever watched the live feeds, like, there's live feeds going out 24/7. So if they sing, they need to stop because that can, bring up some kind of lawsuit for them doing that. So we have an audio cart, like pre-recorded, that we play to stop singing. And they're told this in advance to don't do that.
Right.
But some people just like to defy it for some reason. It's like I could tell if someone just honestly forgot.
That would be me
versus
if I were in
like
the house.
they're just doing it to get attention because they like to hear their name or whatever. And this bitch just kept doing it, and it was halfway through the season. Love you, Clea. And I'd had enough. It was like 2 a.m. I called her into the diary room, and I just let her have it. Like I just went off. I was like, you need to fucking stop this. This could cost us fucking money. You know the fucking rules by now, and if you don't stop, I just went off. And I mean, because she's thinking like we're gonna have some little, she walks in like, I know I'm in trouble, and then just instantly like, okay, I'm sorry. And I don't think I ever heard her sing once again.
Were you literally there until 2 a.m. in the morning as just
Well,
part
that
of
season, because everything it's a 24-hour production,
Yeah.
so there's a day shift and a night shift. And that season, I did for the first time the night shift, which was brutal. I would never do it again. Like I didn't know when to eat. Like it was so
Yeah.
weird. My body just doesn't adjust like that. But I did. Oh, something really crazy happened that season though. Actually on 13. So it's we're about to lock the show the night before it airs because I did the live show that season, and everything's done. Like networks approved it. It's to time. I even send a couple people home early just because there's literally nothing else to do, which never happens. And all of a sudden, and we already knew who was going home. It had been decided. And all of a sudden, I look up, and I forget who it was, but like these people were talking, and it's like shit. The vote's gonna turn. So I had to call these people back in, and all of a sudden, like we're having to get this footage digitized, and it was like normally I would have been gone hours prior, but I was up till the next day, like 1 o'clock, seeing it through because like normally you won't put something in the show if it doesn't happen by I think it was like 6 o'clock the night before, and this happened at 1 a.m.
Oh wow.
And again, and it aired so 1 a.m. It then aired at like 5 p.m. that same day. So that was it was hectic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Sam could talk about Big Brother probably the whole rest of the show, but I do want to ask you at some point about your new gig.
Yeah.
You recently got a great new opportunity. You are now the VP of Alternative Television with Fine Brothers. You have a job.
I do.
As we said earlier, but what the heck does that mean? The VP of Alternative Television, and and also congratulations on the new position. It's very exciting.
Thank you. No, it's great. I wasn't really expecting it. An old friend of mine who works with the Fines contacted my agent about it, and I've been wanting to get back to some more of like the development, but still producing and being involved, because that's what I love doing that and being in the field and being active. But this came along and it was just such an interesting opportunity. The Fines have over 15 million YouTube subscribers. There was this recent thing in Variety released where they ranked teenagers in the U.S. ranked their favorite celebrities.
Right.
All right. They were number 2. The first non-digital celebrity was number 6, Paul Walker. And then way below that was like Beyonce.
Wow.
And it's weird. Like they have, so it's like this world. I'm having to learn who all these digital stars are. And they have such this great reach and brand with these dedicated followers. And so they've started up, they really want to obviously do TV, and they have a couple show. They had a show on Nickelodeon recently, and now we have a series for True TV that I spent all of last week kind of getting up and running and hiring, writers and whatnot. But they're so involved in the digital. It's like they knew they needed to bring somebody in that knows TV really well. So I'm just excited where I get to just really start and grow the way I see fit, which is great for me, because I don't usually like to listen to other people's rules.
Yeah.
Because I like my way of doing things, because I was like, it's tried and true. So
that's great.
Yeah, so I'm both helping them create and sell shows while also overseeing our existing TV shows, like this new show for True TV, which is really cool. It's called 6 Degrees of Everything. And it's basically taking that theory that, not just people, but any things can be connected in 6 degrees. So, the pilot they had shot was connecting a hamburger to a hard drive.
That's so much fun.
And there's these cool, comedic sketches in between. It's kind of like a drunk history. So, yeah, cool stuff.
Awesome.
Would you ever do scripted television, or do you just love the kind of reality unscripted?
Why unscripted?
Well, look, I love scripted stuff. I would absolutely do it. My first job happened to be in reality, and I did find myself really liking it. The unpredictable nature of it was very exciting. And, honestly, it was, again, I like to put in the work and see results. And that's another field where I was really able to work my butt off and rise up, up the ladder. And in scripted, there aren't as many producer roles in scripted. It's the writers. It's like the writers and directors, and that's kind of who runs the show. There aren't, like reality has, it's like 15 different kinds of producers that in different stages you can do. And
this is true.
You just don't see that in scripted. So,
This is good. And so, in terms of unscripted, we are all kind of aware that it's not really all unscripted.
Wait,
so
what?
Not all of it.
Not all of it. I understand that in reality there are some certain things that are organic, and you're like, oh my God, did you get her tripping and falling on her butt? That was so amazing. It's going to get us huge ratings. But how much of it really can be scripted? I mean, you guys sit down across the table from each other and be like, hey, this is the kind of the way we want the show to go today. This is the things we want you to talk about. If there could maybe be a little bit of conflict between here and here.
Right.
Heidi and Spencer, you have no problem. You guys just take care of it on your own.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever you're doing is great. You keep
wrote
doing
your
what
own
you're doing.
thing, I'm sure.
Every show is
crazy.
different, honestly. Big Brother is not scripted at all. A lot of those, and any competition reality show is not scripted, because, especially when there's any money on the line, that's standards and practice right there overseeing you. So that's totally not scripted. I mean, sure, you can put things together, finagle them when you're editing, but it's not scripted. We're not telling people there like what to say or do. I like to say reality TV is like a push-up bra. It's like you're starting with something real, and then depending on how much you want to enhance it, like that's sort of what happens.
So really what you're telling us is that all the people from the hills and Laguna Beach are just really crappy improv actors. That's basically all that, reality TV is.
With shows like that, and then with I've done a lot of docuseries this year, and I have a friend that, was the showrunner of Duck Dynasty. And those things are scripted. Like Duck Dynasty, they made no they didn't hide that. And then I've done shows where it's still reality, but yeah, because the network, it's reality, but they're like, Bo, but we want to know what we're gonna get. So you have to give them these outlines. So here's what we think will be 2 storylines for each episode, and roughly what scenes will make sense. And you give it to them, and then you try to. I like to go with still what's real, but it's going to be compelling and please them.
Are you listening to this, reality TV fans?
Yeah.
Are you listening to
I
this?
hope so.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my approach. I've also worked with some producers who they're like, no, it says it here on this outline, so we need to go for this. I'm like, well, it's changing though. This person doesn't hate this person anymore. Now they hate this one, so we need to change.
Right.
So when I do shows, I adapt and I actually try to. I go with
push
the
it.
reality.
Right.
Yeah, because then you're just going
then
to
it's
keep
actually
going
real.
down the wrong path, and it's just going to screw yourself. So, but I'm not every reality producer. So.
Yeah. Now you're just so busy with all these shows. Do you have time to do anything else? I mean, you have the Patriots shirt on. Are you a sports fan? Do you have time to
Yeah.
actually have a life outside of this busy career that you have?
Yeah, I have made that. That's why I think I stopped taking any out of town jobs a while ago, because I was like, you know what? I realized I am obsessively, like, I play flag football every weekend. I love flag football. It's such like,
Go
and I've
you.
realized
Yeah.
it's like such this big release for me on the
Power
weekend.
puff over here.
It's
Yeah.
like I can get out there, and if I'm mad at a ref, I'll scream, and like it's just a nice like kind of chance to no office politics, or you
Yeah.
can just kind of let loose.
Are you uber competitive on that field? So
Oh my
you're
God.
just talking trash to the other players and to the ref and getting like red carded and thrown out of games and
I don't talk trash just because.
escorted to the parking lot.
Right. No, I don't talk trash, but I'm very, very competitive. And I take a lot of hits too, just because like I don't know my size,
Yeah.
so I'm constantly getting run over by guys. And there is a guy in an
This is a mixed male
yeah,
female.
it's co-ed.
I would hope so, where there's just guys running on the
Right.
field, just
No, it could
knocking
be an
girls
all-
over.
It could be an all-woman
Yeah.
flag football team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, some
Happens.
guy from Team Sony, he was a quarterback, and they needed a score to win the game. And I was, I'm on defense, I'm in the zone, I'm on my island over there. He needs like a couple yards, so he thinks, and I totally read what he was going to do, where he was going to run. So, but he thinks, oh, he'll just run me over and make the easy score, not caring about my safety. So he runs into me. Well, guess what? He goes down too. Because like I'm a lot fucking sturdier than I look, and so he was so mad that he didn't get in and that they weren't going to win, and he's like shoots up, like throws the ball right at me, and he's like, "You're not going to flag her? She tackled me." I was like, I couldn't. I literally, I was like, "You just lowered your shoulder into me." I stand up. I was like, "How are you going to Ray Rice me and then yell at me for it?" And this was like 2 weeks after the Ray Rice stuff too. By the way,
It's timely. I like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm a size 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I get very intense out there, which it'd be really funny for some people like at work to
see you out there.
me like that.
Is it different? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how does that translate into your job? I mean, you're very super competitive. I mean, because there are so many producer positions
Yeah.
in the unscripted, the television world, you would have to be, I guess, very competitive and very just kind of in people's faces.
The
and
Big
just
Brother house
not
guest thing she
afraid.
probably is after grilling some of them.
Yeah, I tried not to look at it though as competitive. It was more like, or at least not with other people. I mean, sure, like if you're like, oh, I feel like I'm doing more than this person, yeah, maybe I should be above them. But you kind of just have to let that stuff go,
Right.
And know that you just keep working hard, and if you're humble about it, your time's going to come. That was like a big thing I kind of had to learn earlier on. Is like, it's not. Yes, you might be more, better to do this than this person right now, but people don't like it when you say that, or when you come across as like a know-it-all. So
Yeah. Well, we have a caller here calling in here. Let's see if they're here to talk to Brandy here. Screaming Goat Radio, you're on the air. Hello. Wrong number. What do you? Maybe they were.
Did they say wrong number?
Oh yeah, I was saying maybe it was the wrong number. I don't know. Maybe or maybe it was the guy that trucked you. He was calling in to apologize, possibly.
no,
Caller, if you can hear us and you really wanted to talk to us, please try
Call
and call
back.
us again. Please,
Trying to
please.
tell
Yeah.
this side of the story.
And you went to Florida too. So
Yeah.
are you a Tebow fan?
Oh,
a
I
Tebow
love-
hate?
yes.
Yeah.
I love,
yeah.
Of course. I
all
don't think
Tebow,
anybody
guys.
that went to
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah.
Tebow right there. Yeah.
I really don't think you would find a single person that went to Florida that does not like Tebow. I mean, and
He's hard
such
to
a-
not like.
Yeah,
I
but
kind of have if we're talking about
Yeah?
crushes we have on men, Tim Tebow would be up.
Yeah.
there.
He's
in
He
there?
did that underwear ad for like a hot second before he was
did.
all like, "I'm gonna wear all my clothes."
He does wear a lot of clothes now, Sam. Unfortunately, I know you're very upset about that.
No, he doesn't want to show his body. It's his. He's
it's
a man
his
of faith.
temple. It's his
Yeah.
temple.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm a huge Tebow fan, and I really hope he gets on.
He started broadcasting now, so it
Well,
seems like
yeah, but he's going to that pro day because now
Oh,
they're
he
doing
is.
the pro combine.
Oh, okay.
it's just he has such heart. Like, and I really want him to succeed and get something out of his years because he's such a good football player.
Yeah.
Whether it's quarterback or what, like he's just special.
Yeah.
I hyped him.
Who are your teams then for sport? I mean, you're obviously an avid
Gators.
sports fan.
Yeah.
So the Gators. Who else? Who are the rest of your teams?
And then, like I said, I'm from Tampa, so the Buccaneers. Sad, but my Buccaneer shirt is long sleeve, and it was hot today, so that's where I'm wearing this Patriot shirt.
Yeah, different conferences. It's fine.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the boyfriend. I got to support it, and I mean, Tom Brady is just dreamy. So
Really?
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 Even I think he's dreamy,
Thank
Sam.
you.
I like girls, and
don't
I think he's
get it.
dreamy.
You guys, tweet us. Tell
don't
me
get
what
it.
is what you find. I don't. I really don't. I think he has a giant head. And I don't mean that in like he's full of himself kind of way, but
Right,
if
you
you
mean,
ever
like,
see him in
actual-
his helmet, there's like this much head that hangs out of the back of it, and it drives
I
me
think
crazy.
Peyton Manning
because
has a way bigger head.
Peyton
Definitely
Manning has
much
a way
bigger
bigger
head.
Both
but
aspects.
Peyton
you
Manning's
see
head
Peyton Manning as a
is
sex
3
symbol.
times the
Yeah.
size of a normal person's head.
Yeah, but we don't see Peyton Manning as a sex symbol.
I'm
People are
shocked.
Like, Tom Brady,
I'm
and
shocked
he's
that you
all
don't think
married
Tom
to
Brady is
Giselle.
hot. I mean, I thought
Yes.
that was just a rule, a
Could
law,
come
just
up
an
with-
understanding.
And I'm a Bears fan, so therefore, boo on the Packers, but Aaron Rodgers is more attractive than
he's
Tom
alright to
Brady.
me.
I would go Brady.
I would. Go
I
with-
don't know.
My
I think
Okay, we're having
boyfriend.
some
Welker
serious
is
girl
super
talk right here, and I love
dreamy.
it.
My boyfriend
Aaron
has told me that he
Sanchez.
would allow Tom Brady to impregnate me so that he could raise Brady's child.
Wow.
He would be
He-
like,
Yeah, are
had
you
sex
okay with
Tom
that too,
Brady?
or that-
Details?
Sure.
Yeah, is Tom Brady giving you money as well, or he's just raising Tom Brady's child?
He just wants to raise Tom Brady's child as his own.
And teach him football.
I think
Yeah.
and I think every guy in Boston, that's his dream. Honestly,
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
not so much Gronk. I don't want to. I love him as a player. I love him on my fantasy team.
He's a little douchey, huh?
He's a meathead.
Yeah.
You
He's a
think?
meathead. Oh my god.
You think he just looks like he smells like onions? You
Yeah.
he just looks like he just walked out of a
That's
frat house.
awesome.
Chasing
He's
porn
gonna
stars around.
burn beer in my face, and
awesome.
that'll
Yeah.
be the end of that.
God, and what do you think of that chick Tinder shaming Edelman?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
What do you
yeah.
Yeah, we actually talked
Did
about that
did
on
you
the
talk
show.
about it on
Yeah.
the show?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, it's just, she had no idea the shitstorm that was going to hit her when
Yeah.
she just decided to do that one
Sabrina
night.
Dudson.
Guess who's gonna sleep
Wow,
with you
look,
now?
you know her
honey?
name.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna give it to you now.
No, well, she
enjoy celibacy.
She actually put that up as her picture
Yeah,
on Tinder, I think.
profile
I guess,
picture.
Yeah.
thinking that guys would want to hook up with her because she hooked up with
Because she
Edelman.
hooked
Is
up
that the
with
deal?
Edelman. I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty much.
Yeah, is that a thing, I guess? Is that,
Well, it was like the woman that posted on her Twitter page, like, I fucked Odell Beckham Jr. All you other bitches, get to my level. That's what it says, like, get to my level.
Get to my
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
You have to respect her for that, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. It's how you get respect on
Right. I'm
social
Karuchi
media, I
Tran.
guess.
I slept with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Get to my level.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Womp,
Yeah.
womp.
Well, then she's
thank you.
banned from bars
what
in
they
Boston,
say.
I was
Yeah,
reading as
yeah.
well.
Oh my god.
All
It's
for that.
So funny.
What's the douchebag equivalent for? Can you call a woman a douchebag? Sure.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Slut, I think, is
Yeah.
probably what's going to be thrown at her a lot when she sees people around town.
It's just trash. Like, she's just an idiot. I've honestly, as soon as I heard that, I felt so bad for her dad. That,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. He did not click like on that picture, or he did not swipe whatever the swiping would be for that. He did not do that when he saw that picture.
Yeah.
Her dad's on Tinder?
Well, who knows?
Did you hear,
Mom's
by the
out of
way,
picture.
that Tinder charges? I heard they charge more if you're over 30.
Really?
I think it's Tinder. It's either Tinder or another dating app. They charge more if you're over 30. How sad is that?
That's pretty
I
bad.
know. I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that for
It
like
would-
10 more years.
Talk about
though,
kicking you
guys.
while you're down.
And it would also suck if you were on there and you were paying for it and you got no matches. That would be twice as depressing. That you're not just on Tinder. Nobody is swiping right on
I
you,
have
and
no- I
then
don't know which way it
you're
is.
And
also
you have
paying
to go
for
sign
it.
up for ourtime.com and
Yeah.
Farmers only.
Farmers only. That's right.
Farmersonly.com.
Yeah. Man, they're just whatever you're into out there. There's some sort of .com dating site for it.
Right.
J8.
Yeah. I don't know.
FamilyBarbecue.com.
Ooh,
PH.
bring it back. Yeah, all of the former cast members. Do you have any family
PH.
barbecue reunions coming up from the cast? Is the cast getting together?
No, the last time I saw them was at the premiere. Excuse me, hiccups. Premiere of the movie.
Yeah. Was that at like the director's mom's house or something, or was that at a?
No, we did rent out a
You're kind of
theater.
defensive of the barbecue movie though.
Only because it was my first film and it was a big deal for me. We had a premiere,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote, and then the name of it was up on the marquee outside of a
Ooh.
theater in the south side of Chicago. South side.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It wasn't like a red carpet premiere or anything, but most of the cast came and they watched it, and it was a fun little
Well, very cool. Very cool.
Diddly do. And then and then when it came out, it was actually in a Blockbuster near me, and I actually went and rented it so that I could watch
Wow.
it for the first time. And
Was there
then,
that one
I
copy?
never returned it so that it could never go back to Blockbuster.
And
Exactly.
and now they're bankrupt thanks to you.
Yeah.
Right, and then my family subsequently bought all of the copies from Amazon. And
All of the,
No, you can't
the
get
2
it.
or 3 copies.
yeah, try to find it, guys.
I should have rented my movie with where I was the cheerleader. See if it's probably not even
You mean
out.
your
I don't
porn?
know. Yeah, my porn with Ron Jeremy. Yeah. Hey Ron, if you're out there watching. Yeah, well we're very short on time here, unfortunately. Brandy, thank you so much for coming. Brandy Tucker, she has a job and it's
job.
the VP of
Job.
Alternative Television. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Sharing some great stories, and you're definitely somebody that we'll have to get back on the show before you become too big to where you will stop returning our phone calls.
There you go.
So, yeah. And Sam, thanks so much for coming in here, filling in for Chris.
You're welcome. We miss you, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know you, Chris.
Yeah. Hopefully you will come on the show again. You
Right.
can meet him. We'll have a good time.
Cool.
Everybody out there, thanks for watching here. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.
You're listening to Screaming Goat Radio with Kevin and Chris, right here on LA Talk Radio.